Well, welcome back to The Defining Moment. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to join you so that we can get to listen to a very powerful testimony. Some stories look very ordinary, but right in there, the power of God is at work. And I mean, this is one of those stories. Talking to Dorcas Wangare, who never knew her parents. I don't know if she knows her parents to date, but raised up, not knowing the parents. At Form 2, she couldn't proceed with her schooling. She tried committing suicide once, a very interesting attempt. Coming to Nairobi, hoping that she will come to to go to school, but here she comes, she becomes a house help or house manager. So uko hapa, so that becomes your daily engagement routine.
Yes, because
did that change?
After some times, I remember she threw me out of her house because of some reasons. She said some things that were not even true. And I remember she threw me out at around 7 p.m. at night, in between 7 to 8 p.m. I remember getting into a matatu, going to town and coming to National Archives, and I sat around there.
So where were you going to?
I have no idea.
In
my mind, I thought in town, because there's so many people, nothing will happen to me. But in between, after some times, everyone disappeared. And I remember at some point, I slept at Tirum in one of the matatus till morning, because after 10 p.m. and 11 p.m., back in the days, some guys thought maybe I was sort of a prostitute around the area. And one of the driver asked me what I'm doing, and he could tell I was very innocent. And I told him that I was due out from my home and I just don't know where to go. And he told me, I'm going home, I'll just open this door of this matatu, but I'm coming back tomorrow very early in the morning at around 4:30. But at least I'll sleep here. The matatu was a bit tinted, but I could not sleep because I was scared, because I didn't even trust him. At the end of the day, it's in the middle of town, and you can't trust anyone. And along that time when I was just in that matatu, I could see people being snatched phone, people are fighting, all manner of things. So anytime I feel like I want to sleep, something will happen. I'll just be scared. And then after I left, I happened to get a friend of mine, but then she was staying in Gong, and she happened to go to Mandera. And she told me, we ever had a conversation on phone, and she told me that there's a job in Mandera and they're paying very good money. And because of what I had gone through, I know I've cut so many things. I decided to try and risk.
Before this, you attempted suicide again?
I think actually the first suicide attempt at around Highway Selassie Avenue. I was just passing on the road, and I saw this personal car coming, and I passed. I don't know how that guy managed to hold the brake. I have no idea. I just wanted to just hit me.
So this point you are now staying in Nairobi, just trying to...
Yes, trying to survive, staying with people. They disappoint me, especially we ladies, when you stay with someone, we have so many issues. At some point, we just feel you don't want to stay with anyone, tell them to leave my house. And at the end of the day, I was not even capable of renting my own house. Yes. And so during that time, when I tried that suicidal, it's when that lady called me after a week. And I remember that man coming out of his car and asked me, young woman, you want to die? I just told him, just leave me alone. And then he was just like shaking his head, and he tried to talk to me, and I was like, just leave me, just leave me alone.
So you got this opportunity to go to Mandera.
Yes, and I think to me it was something great, because at least I'm going to leave this place, I'm going to go to my own money, exactly. And I was told that I would be receiving at least 50,000. Exactly, I know what I And after I went, I remember the transport from Nairobi to that place, it was around 4,500. And she sent me the money for transport.
She was in Mandera herself?
She was in Mandera herself. So she told me, there's this organization, such an NGO organization, you just come, they're paying good money. And I said to myself, let me try. I remember getting to those matatus. I remember getting to Wajir, and I was like, where am I going? because that place is it's very desert.
And it is so far.
Yes, it's
so you're connecting one point
yeah,
to the other?
yes, we are going. I remember we stayed on the road for a whole week because our bus had some issues. We couldn't get there on time. I remember we were in a certain forest. It's very hot, deserted.
Arid.
And I remember seeing her picking me up, and we went to a certain house. She told me to freshen up, and I was given some food, and I was very annoyed. I was feeling I want to go back. But now, how do I go back? And I don't even have transport.
4,500.
4,500.
Yeah.
So I had to stay. And then after, like, I think a day or 2 days, they took me to a different house to stay there. And I asked her, I thought we were going to a certain home to a certain company. That's what you told me. And then she told me, I'm just going to take you there because I'm working in a different place and you'll work in a different place. And I said, it's okay. And then I was taken to a certain building. And the people who were there, I couldn't see any Christian. They were all Muslim.
Right.
And I was given a certain room. And first thing when I entered there, they asked for my phone. And yeah, my phone. And they asked also for my ID. But I told them I don't have.
Oh, right.
So I had to hide that one. Because I felt, why are you asking for my ID?
Yeah.
And I gave up my phone. I didn't have a smartphone, actually. I only had that a small phone. And I gave them my phone. And after a couple of days, I was not even coming out. I was just in a certain room. Anytime I try to go out, the gate man will tell me, you can't go out. And then I was given some food. And the food I remember they used to give me some pancakes. They normally call them, I've forgotten that name. And I could not do anything at some point. And when they feel like they want me to do something, they'll bring a lot of clothes for me to wash for them. And the house was very big. You know, I stayed for almost 7 months in Mandera. And for like 4 months, I was in that certain house.
You're in this house?
Yes.
You're not doing much?
I'm not doing much. The
You're
only
washing
thing
clothes?
And the plan was, back then, if you can remember, back in the days when the Al-Shabaab used to attack so much.
Yeah.
And they recruit people,
Yeah.
young people, you go and become an Al-Shabaab. So that was the plan.
Radicalization.
Exactly. And they were looking for another 5 girls. So I was one of them, and some others were in a certain place. So there were some few others to come, like the way I was brought there. And you know, after I saw that lady, up to when I left, I never saw her.
You never saw her again?
I never saw her again. And we never had communication because at the end of the day, they took my phone. So anytime I could try to come out of that certain building, I can't because it's very guarded.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything to me.
No harm?
No harm, because they knew what was their plan. The only thing.
So what were you doing in this house this entire time?
In that house, I was just being told to work. Most of the time, they just bring clothes, or they just tell me to wipe the windows or clean. And that place was big. They used to have a very big compound.
So, but you were comfortable?
I wasn't.
No, in terms of you have your bed, you have your...
No, I was just lying down. There was only a mattress.
Yeah,
and there were no beddings. It was just a plain mattress. And my bag. So most of the time when it's cold, I just use my towel, my lasso to cover myself. And at night I would be very scared. And one day I happened to go in a certain room and I found some guys. I didn't know even there was a TV room in that place.
Yeah.
And when I entered, they were shocked. They were like, get out of this place. They threw me out. Actually, I remember one guy pushing me outside very harshly. And I fallen down and I just walked. I went back. Then one day happened to open the gate. And I was coming outside from the backyard. And I was just going straight. And I saw the gate was open. And then I moved out so fast. And I happened to run away because the gate was open. And I remember at some point I met some people who are Christian, because whenever you meet people there, once you see them, they are your friends. You don't know them, but they're just you connect because they're Christian. And most of the people used to say that that place is not Kenya.
Yeah.
And we
it was at the border, right?
Yes, it was at the border of Somalia and Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we happened to be walking in a certain place, and I told one of the girls, But if we are,
So you're working with them,
Yeah.
you're hoping you will find help.
yes.
As you keep, and you're conversing with them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to get to
But
know them.
remember, I'm not wearing the normal clothes. I'm wearing those kanzus.
Oh, hijab.
This hijab,
and
because they don't allow you to walk without
yes.
those clothes.
Eh?
And
So ulijuaje hawa ni watu wa...
you know, I had removed those. I wasn't wearing that kanzu, so it was with my braids.
All right.
And they could tell I'm not a Muslim.
Yeah.
And then I told them, you guys, do you know, while you're walking like this, what if we happen to meet Al-Shabaab? And unknowingly, I had people coming at my back.
Right there.
Lie there, and then we were just told, lie down. And I was shivering, but at the end of the day, I was like, it is dying. It is okay, because I think I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
and you know all that. Remember that time I was there was no money I was getting. It was just nothing.
7 months.
7 months. Wow. And then that guy stepped on my back, and he pulled out the trigger, and it was next to my face.
Yeah.
And he told me, do you understand the meaning of being an Al-Shabaab? And I was like, I don't know. And he told me to just say my last prayer. And at the end of the day, I can't even see his face because it's covered.
Yeah.
I only see his eyes. And he told me to just lie down and say my last prayer. And I was like, it's fine, just kill me. And I remember him firing up, and I passed out. And the next minute, I only found myself in a hospital, whereby we were rescued by some policemen who were just working there. And it was...
So looks like there was an ambush of sorts at that point. So you found help.
Yes.
Wow. So you go to hospital.
Yeah, I got to hospital because I remember I think I had panicked so much.
Yeah.
So I was conscious.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to finish this. So eventually you find your way back home.
I find my way back home.
Yeah.
And I came back and I shared what has happened. And one of my pastors was very shocked, and he asked me, at your age, you have seen all that.
Yeah.
And he happened to connect me to an organization from Canada.
Right.
I got in a sponsorship whereby they helped me. They took me to school, even though they didn't take me back to high school. They told me if I can choose a course, I can do.
Right.
And they paid, like everything was paid through that organization. And that was a turning point. I remember even...
So what course did you do?
I did beauty, I did cosmetology in beauty.
All right.
That is beauty, massage, those things.
All right.
And it was paid. Everything was paid.
Wow.
And that was a turning point to me.
For me.
I know there's a lot, but since we don't have much
time. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Here you are, Dorcas. You have seen all this. Attempted suicides.
Yeah.
You are almost radicalized.
True.
But beyond that, you're almost killed back in Mandera.
Yeah.
But you're here, you're strong, you're independent, you have an education, you have something to show for it.
Yeah.
I want you in 30 seconds to just speak hope that, you know what, you could have gone through all these things, but eventually there's an opportunity and a hope for you.
I would say to maybe someone who's out there, you feel like you want to give up with your life, you feel it's the end of you, do not lose hope. Because here I am, very strong, very confident with myself. I know back then I could not even sit here and share anything because I was not even having that strength. If you're out there, you feel you're devastated, you're depressed, do not give up because there is hope. And everything happened for a good reason. There is life after everything. Keep strong.
Lovely.
Thank
you are hopeful.
And I am hopeful.
The better days ahead for you.
Exactly.
Amen.
And I also say that as I'm going to Nigeria next month, you're out there, you would wish or love to sponsor me or support me because I'm not capable to pay for my flight and all that. I'll be so grateful.
Please give us a contact. Or
you can reach me on Instagram, that is Doris Kari 748.
Sorry,
Doris Kari.
Doris Kari.
Yes.
Kari is K?
That is C.
C?
Actually, it's just a short way of my name, Dorcas Wangari. That is Doris Kari.
All right. So just D-O?
D-O-R-I-S-C-A-E-R-Y.
All right.
748.
748.
And also, maybe I can give my contact.
It's all right.
+254 718 326 561.
Give it the Kenyan way.
Okay, 0718 326 561. You
All
can
right.
reach me through that contact, and I'll be so grateful for your support.
Great. So
Thank
if you
you.
want to support her in one way or the other, God has elevated her to this level as she continues to pursue her dreams. All right. So thank you
Yes.
very much, Dorcas. God bless you. We wish you well. God's
Thank you.
blessings.
Yeah.
You are alive for a reason.
True.
And may your purposes come to pass.
Amen.
Miss humanity.
Thank you so much.
All right. Asante sana. I hope that blessed you. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And may the Lord do you well. We meet again next week on another defining moment story. Baraka tena.